There are currently over 4,300 active religions practiced across the globe. If you were to dedicate just 1 week to investigating the claims of every single one, the process would take you over 82 years, an entire lifetime spent just looking for the starting line. Most people, paralyzed by this statistical noise, get out completely. You start with a blank space and only put back the apples, the belief systems, that can pass through a series of strict logical filters. By identifying the core requirements of what a true religion must logically look like, we can move from thousands of options to a handful of verifiable claims. Our first filter looks at the mechanics of the world. We see a lifeless seed in the dirt that somehow extracts the exact minerals needed to produce a complex fruit, a result that far exceeds its simple surroundings. Just as a toy plane moving across a floor implies an external push, the natural world is full of systems that seem to know things they shouldn't. Bees, for example, produce honey with medicinal properties specifically beneficial to humans, despite the bee having no knowledge of human biology. Because these self-sustaining systems show clear evidence of purpose and design, rather than blind, chaotic chance, the logic of an intelligent creator enters our basket, while atheism and nihilism are left out. If this creator gave us the cognitive ability to ask why, it follows that they would provide a way to find the answer. A designer who builds a machine as complex as the human mind would not leave it without a set of instructions. This second filter narrows our search. We are no longer looking at abstract, ruleless spiritualities, but at systems where the creator has provided a direct, physical record of their intent. Acknowledging a higher power is only the first step. The next is finding where that power has actually spoken to us. But even a book of instructions needs a demonstration. Raw information on a page is easily misunderstood without a living example to show how those instructions function in the real world. This bird filter requires a messenger, a human role model who can bridge the gap between divine laws and human behavior. This requirement for both a text and a picture brings our 4,300 options down to just 3: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. While these faiths share a lineage of prophets like Moses and Jesus, a logic-based search must account for how those messages were preserved over thousands of years of human transcription and historical conflict. Islam's unique claim is that it arrived as a final corrective, not to start a new religion, but to finalize the original message of the earlier prophets through a text that claims to be immune to human alteration. The problem of the 4,300 is now gone. The only remaining task is to test the credibility of one man and the book he left behind. To test that credibility, we look at 7th century Arabia, where an illiterate man named Muhammad began making these massive claims. We can apply the trilemma popularized by C.S. Lewis. A person who claims to speak for God must be one of 3 things: a liar, a lunatic, or a man telling the truth. Liars seek profit. Yet historical records show that even when he was offered immense wealth and absolute power to stop his message, he refused, choosing instead to endure 13 years of starvation and social exile. The lunatic hypothesis is equally difficult to sustain. A mentally unstable person does not have the strategic capacity to unify warring tribes, codify a complex legal system, and lead a functional state for over a decade. Because his life showed neither the greed of a con man nor the instability of the delusional, the evidence points toward the final option. He was telling the truth. Finally, we test the physical text itself. The Quran contains descriptions of the universe's expansion and planetary orbits, data that was entirely inaccessible to anyone in the 7th century, let alone someone with no formal education. It also made geopolitical predictions that were, at the time, statistically impossible. After the Roman Empire was decisively crushed by the Persians, the Quran predicted they would return and conquer their enemies within 3 to 9 years. Historically, the Romans did exactly that, against all military odds. This systematic process shows that faith doesn't have to be a blind guess. Out of thousands of options, Islam is the path that remains after applying the filters of a creator who speaks, a teacher who lives the message, and a text that confirms itself through history.